Thanks for joining us. I'm Megan Roberts. It's a solar farm project that's catching national and international attention. In the Yukon, the White River First Nation officially launched its solar facility this week in Beaver Creek. The CBC's Gordon Loverin was there.
It's an unusual site, fireweed and solar panels occupying the same space. But it's a bright day for the White River First Nation as they introduce their new green energy project called Sauce.
This is unceded WRFN land, and we are excited to see the Development Corporation create a large project that benefits our community.
The 1.9 megawatt solar farm replaces 340,000 liters of diesel burned annually to keep the lights on in Beaver Creek. Its electrical output supplies 55% of the community's needs.
This facility is a major achievement, a true example of what we can do when we work together. This project is a real team effort with First Nation, territorial, and federal governments working together to achieve the shared vision in Beaver Creek's future.
It cost $24 million to build the solar farm, financed through a 30-year power purchase agreement with Yukon Energy. The Sauce project is generating interest from around the globe for its unique design and build.
ATCO Electric Yukon has been reached out to by many utilities across the country saying, how did you get this done? I have been reached out to by many universities across the world on what it takes to get a project like this done because it hasn't been done in this scale before.
The new solar farm reduces greenhouse gas emissions by an estimated 1,100 tons of CO2 annually. Gordon Loverin, CBC News, Beaver Creek.
Nunavut's power utility, the Kugaruk Energy Corporation, is proposing a new charge to businesses. It's targeted at those who generate their own electricity but use the corporation's supply as a backup source. QEC says the proposed charge would ensure other customers aren't paying for businesses who have the Kugaruk Energy Corporation's power supply on standby. If approved, those businesses would have to pay a connection fee and a monthly demand charge. The Utility Rates Review Council is seeking public feedback on the proposal until September 8th. Emails from healthcare workers in Inuvik Northwest Territories highlight concerns with the available mental health resources at the hospital. The CBC obtained emails through an access to information request, which included responses from nurses and doctors decrying the loss of an on-call mental health worker on weekends. The CBC's Luke Carroll has more.
In March, the territorial government told Inuvik hospital staff that there would no longer be an on-call medical social worker on weekends. This is who responds to people dealing with a mental health crisis. The loss of the position was attributed to it being unsustainable as they are short-staffed. But this loss did not go over well for the nurses. One wrote that weekends are when needs are often at the highest, and this move is doing the region and people a great disservice. Another wrote, our suicide rates in the Beaufort Delta are high, and instead of increasing services, we are taking them away. Nurses called for more to be done to ensure this position is filled, or at least inform the public that there are no services on weekends. The nurses referenced the publicity of the closure of the obstetrics unit and how agency nurses were brought in to ensure that that critical service eventually continued. To assist with this lack of a medical social worker on weekends, the territorial government told nurses they would be required to conduct additional mental health supports, including suicide risk assessments on patients. Nurses were then expected to take a 30-minute course to offer the assessments, but many nurses say this is not enough training, that mental health nurses spend years learning their skills, and that the already overworked nurses will be further stretched. Luke Carroll, CBC News, Yellowknife.
CBC News reached out to the Northwest Territories government for a response on this subject and to ask if the weekend role has been staffed. But the government didn't respond by deadline. We will bring you that response when it is received. We have an update now on a class action lawsuit in the Yukon. Families and the Yukon government have reached a tentative settlement agreement on a suit filed by former students of Jack Holland Elementary School. It alleges holds and restraints were used on kids for more than a decade. The class action was scheduled for trial this week. The trial was paused for last-minute negotiations, and now both parties say they've reached a tentative agreement. If a settlement is reached in the next few weeks, hundreds of former students could win compensation. The Yukon government and the state of Alaska have signed a new agreement. It's a promise to work together to address the crisis of missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit Plus people. The Memorandum of Understanding was signed on Tuesday in Whitehorse. It doesn't come with funding or protocols for law enforcement. It does, though, outline expectations for both governments, including how to share information, best practices, and prevention tips.
There's already a strong relationship in the law enforcement side. In Yukon, we of course have the RCMP, and in the state of Alaska, they have troopers. They have these special units, and so I think that there already is some of that information, but this will strengthen, I think, that relationship. And the other thing that I'm really keen to see is the Indigenous to Indigenous relationship further building, and that was part of one of the objectives today as well, is to connect we had a number of chiefs. We had the Grand Chief Mathia Alatini at the event today. A number of our chiefs and deputy chiefs attend, and so to again look at where the opportunities lie to build those relationships, and I think also the organizational level, so women's organizations and how they can connect with Indigenous organizations in Alaska as well to start working closer together.
McLean said she's hosting the ministers responsible for the status of women in the NWT and Nunavut this week. They'll discuss how the three territories can collaborate and respond to gender-based violence in their communities. A fire smoldering for a month at Kugaruk's landfill has now been put out. The fire escalated during the last week of July, and reinforcements, including 3 firefighters from Iqaluit and a government of Nunavut fire marshal, were sent to help. The hamlet says the Kugaruk Fire Department battled the blaze for a very long time, and the community is fortunate to have them.
We're really lucky that they're so dedicated to their community and dedicated to their role as members of our fire department.
Byers says the community is grateful the GN and Iqaluit also helped out. The exact cause of the fire is still unknown. Wildfires encroaching on St. John's, Newfoundland are creating a lot of uncertainty at the Canada Summer Games. The fire started in the community of Paddy's Pond. This morning, Newfoundland and Labrador's fire duty officer said the fire didn't grow overnight, but thousands of people in the province remain under either evacuation orders or alerts. As we told you on Tuesday, beach volleyball matches were postponed due to the fires. They are now going ahead for Team Nunavut. The women's team is playing against Newfoundland and Labrador. And Team NT's beach volleyball team also faced an interrupted schedule. Their games have been on hold for 2 days because of the nearby wildfires.
Our second day of games, we went to go watch the guys play, and in the background there was starts this big billowing of smoke, and I think that's when we all kind of became aware of the situation and what's going on. And then that evening, we got the news that we wouldn't be playing the next day.
Team NT's beach volleyball players will be back in action tomorrow with a condensed schedule to make up for lost time. The Canada Summer Games continue into next week, and for Team NT's track and field team, that comes with a health risk.
With smoke comes the reduced capacity to breathe, and we are outdoor. Unfortunately, there are no indoor surfaces nearby where we could run any of these events.
There is a makeup day built into the athletics schedule. If the smoke gets too bad, Team NT expects events that would put athletes at risk to be postponed. Let's get an update now on those fires in Newfoundland. The already massive Kingston fire on the Avalon Peninsula is spreading, forcing thousands of people to leave the area. As Karen Pauls reports, there's little sign of relief on the horizon.
This couple and their dog Jazzy are coming for lunch at the evacuation center in Carbonear. But what they need, even more than food, is answers. You don't know if you have a house or not.
No, I haven't got a clue. No news is good news, I guess. I don't know.
They shot this video from their driveway 10 days ago, among 3,000 people forced from their homes the next day because of the growing Kingston fire on Newfoundland's Avalon Peninsula. Now the size of about 10,000 football fields, another 13,000 people nearby on evacuation alert.
We simply cannot afford any further risks.
The Premier now banning the use of off-road vehicles on forested land until Sunday. Fines for breaking the fire ban ranging from $50,000 to $150,000.
I really hope people understand the seriousness of the fire ban.
That's not going over well with this evacuee.
There's a little bit of foolishness. Some is ruining it for some just good people that go out and obey the laws.
Carbonear's mayor is hearing from residents angry because scarce firefighting resources are being moved to other parts of the province, including the Paddy's Pond fire out of control on the outskirts of St. John's.
It's frustrating, I'm sure, to see a CBN area that had their water bombers and helicopters, and all of a sudden they were gone to fight another fire that had just started up.
Back at the evacuation center, the Salvation Army is supporting evacuees and those on the front lines, making more than 7,000 meals a day.
There is a lot of anxiety about what's going on, people kind of wanting answers.
And with the likelihood of rain later this week decreasing, that anxiety is growing. Karen Pauls, CBC News, Carbonear, Newfoundland.
Take a voyage with me to the vast, remote, most extreme place on Earth.
For many, this will be a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Where the effects of climate change are intensifying.
The poles are a very rapidly changing place.
And geopolitical cracks threaten peace and stability.
Do you think there's a security concern?
I definitely do.
Experience the historic all-Canadian mission. CBC in Antarctica. Watch free on CBC Gem.
Want to get the most out of CBC News? Use the app or cbcnews.ca for live breaking news on the stories that matter to you. Whether it's local, national, or around the world, turn to CBC News.
It makes sense that they get a larger share, or does it?
Welcome to the Greenbelt.
All of this, just single-detached homes.
Yes.
What do we know? I think we can explain.
About that with Andrew Chang.
Although the NBA currently is flooded with Canadian players, this was not a reality.
A new immigration law.
This story is directly tied to all those families who made a brave choice to come to this country.
My favorite word.
Tariff. How seriously are you taking this threat?
It's the uncertainty that's the biggest issue.
Canada, we got you.
Elbows up!
The 2025 Yukon Food Security Conference is underway in Dawson City. It's being hosted at the Trondequetchin Farm. This year's theme is diversifying food systems with a rural and youth focus, and the push for communities to move away from reliance and towards resilience. Take a look.
So my name is Michelle Watson. I'm the coordinator for the Yukon Food Security Network. So that's the organization that's behind this event. And a big function that the network plays is to create opportunities like this, to come together, connect with one another, create opportunities to share learnings, and then also to to find ways that we can work together moving forward towards building resilient and equitable food systems. So this here, what you're seeing around you is Food Security, Yukon Food Security Conference 2025, Diversifying Food Systems. The conversation that we're hoping to spark around here, or I think a lot of the people that are here already kind of understand this, is that our work as individuals in our communities and as individuals within our organizations goes only so far. But when we come together and we find ways to collaborate and we create that energy and that momentum, that can really have a huge impact on the overall movement towards a more just and resilient and equitable food system. And that's what we're really all here to talk about is how do we continue that work? How do we energize that work? How do we work together to create greater impact and really to move the dial? Because, with food insecurity rates going up, with, prices continuing to rise in grocery stores, with traditional foodways disappearing before our eyes, with the lack of the destruction of habitat, climate change, all of these things, it's really important for us to come together and to acknowledge, yes, like we can't continue down this path. Like this path that we're on really only benefits very few people. And we're all here because we believe that everyone has the right to food.
My name's Derek Hastings. I'm manager of the Trunduquichin Farm. I've been manager for 8.5 years. Having these little conferences or gatherings, not that I needed to learn it, but it just reignited even within my mind, like the need for like community development within the agricultural sector, and how important it is for like people's mental health and people's ability to just stop focusing on war and destruction and anger and division and start saying, no, we have to come together. We have to drive our passions forward. We have to invest in each other, and we have to create a circular economy. I invest in you, you invest in me, and keep the dollars rotating, keep the dollars local, keep the energy local. Don't serve the interests outside of our community because they just zap us of all that effort. But if we start investing in each other, we'll just, we're gonna have more than enough, and we'll be able to give, which we already do, and we want to give. We want to be able to provide and give to people and make sure that people have what they need,
And our thanks to the CBC's Chris McIntyre for that piece. The parliamentary secretary to the Minister of Finance wants Nunavummiut to have a say in the upcoming federal budget. Ryan Turnbull was in Iqaluit this week. He met with mining industry stakeholders, Inuit leaders, and other politicians. Leaders raised concerns over food security, the continuation of the Inuit Child First initiative, and housing. Another talking point was the possibility of federal support for hunters.
There's a couple of kind of pilot projects where hunters and trappers are being paid to basically hunt and trap and provide food to their local communities, and that they get a lot of source of pride from that, and that there could be more support for that.
The upcoming federal budget is set to be tabled this fall. The business running the defunct department store, formerly known as Hudsons Bay, has changed its name. The company will now have various names, all starting with Rupert Legacy. That is in reference to Prince Rupert, the Bay's first governor. Hudsons Bay had to make the change as part of its agreement to sell its intellectual property to Canadian Tire. The company remains under creditor protection after closing all of its stores. It's now in the process of selling off the leases for its properties. WestJet says personal data was stolen in a cyber attack earlier this year. That includes information about travel documents. The stolen data may include names, dates of birth, email and mailing addresses, phone numbers, even recent travel booking history. But there is a silver lining. The company says credit and debit card numbers are safe. The airline is offering affected customers 2 years of free identity theft and monitoring services. Canada's privacy watchdog has launched an investigation into the cybersecurity breach at WestJet. Air Canada says it'll begin canceling flights on Thursday. Its 10,000 flight attendants could go on strike as early as Saturday. Marina von Stackelberg has more on what happens next in the labor dispute and what all this means for passengers who are set to catch a plane in the coming days.
This country's largest airline might be completely grounded by the weekend. That's when Air Canada's flight attendants are set to walk off the job. 130,000 customers could be affected every single day.
It's very impactful. There's so many flights. Like the choices that I know most times we're looking at our flights to go home, it's Air Canada.
It's left some travelers frantically booking with other airlines.
My schedule has been changed 3 times, so I've canceled the flight and booked with Porter. We booked flights back home with WestJet, just in case.
And did you have to pay for that out of pocket?
Yes, we did.
By law, Air Canada will have to issue refunds if it cancels your flight, unless it can get you on another plane with another airline.
It is their obligation to find another carrier at their expense to fly me to my next destination within 48 hours of my original arrival.
Air Canada says it's making arrangements with other airlines, but warns a new flight might not be available right away. Because of the busy travel season, many seats are already full. The union says the two sides are at an impasse.
The goal is not to strike or disrupt travel plans. Our goal is to be on board the airplane, but be fairly compensated while we're doing it. This is part of the process. It is unfortunate to the traveling public.
The union says Air Canada flight attendants aren't paid for the work they do before boarding, like helping passengers or doing safety checks. The company says it's offering a 38% compensation increase over 4 years, making its flight attendants the best compensated in Canada. Air Canada now wants the federal government to step in and force binding arbitration to stop the strike from happening. The jobs minister won't say if she'll do that. She says mediators continue to help with negotiations and says both sides should remain at the bargaining table. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Ottawa.
New data suggests there are fewer housing projects on the horizon, despite a federal push to get more built. The Liberals campaigned in part on easing the housing crisis. Kate McKenna brings us more on where those promises stand.
A key priority for Mark Carney during the election, building more homes.
There simply aren't enough homes, so housing is just too expensive. Now, it doesn't have to be this way.
But new data shows the federal government has a long way to go. In May and June, residential construction intentions dropped 15%.
Most of the decline is in lower mainland BC and the GTA. And what's happened in those two environments is that home prices and rents have fallen.
Experts say it all comes down to math.
We've reached a point at which the costs are so high relative to prices, it's just no longer economically viable to build most forms of housing.
These figures come after Ontario reported it is not on track to meet its housing target of 1.5 million homes built by 2031. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says they want to get more built, but municipalities play a big role.
If you want to build, you will build. And then there's some, I won't name names, they're NIMBYs. And they're the first to get out there and say, we need more homes. Oh, by the way, you aren't building in our backyard. You aren't building in our neighborhood.
The federal housing minister wasn't available for an interview, but Prime Minister Mark Carney has committed to build nearly 500,000 homes annually and slash development fees.
We need to see some response here to get the developers off the sideline and the shovels in the ground.
The Conservatives say Ottawa's previous efforts to move the needle, including giving money to cities to fast-track development, didn't work.
That program was an abject failure. I mean, they gave millions of dollars to cities that then turned around and increased their costs for building.
This week, Ottawa announced consultations on its plan to create a new housing crown corporation. But with targets slipping and costs climbing, the federal government is under mounting pressure to make good on its commitments. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
A BC man who went blind 2 decades ago has regained sight after undergoing a first-in-Canada eye surgery. As Yasmin Ganea shows us, the procedure required one of his teeth.
Yes, seeing the skyline.
After going blind nearly 21 years ago,
This is the moment Brent Chapman discovered he could see again, through his tooth.
Looks really healthy, looks great.
Chapman is one of 3 people who underwent tooth and eye surgery, performed by Dr. Greg Maloney and his team in Vancouver for the first time in Canada.
I feel fantastic. Vision comes back. It's a whole new world.
All 3 patients can now see to different degrees.
To watch them come back into the world is it's an incredibly rewarding feeling.
The 2-part surgery, developed in the 1960s, is a last resort for people with severe corneal blindness. It involves removing a patient's tooth, inserting a plastic lens into it, and then stitching the whole thing into the patient's eye socket. Why a tooth? Because they consist of the hardest substances humans produce, making them the ideal casing to bridge the lens, and using part of a patient's own body ensures it won't be rejected. Chapman went blind when he was 13. He's had about 50 procedures done to try and get his vision back.
And we always said to Brent that we would go anywhere, do anything to keep his vision. And here we are.
Chapman says he's now appreciating the little things.
When Dr. Maloney and I made eye contact, we both just burst into tears, and yeah, I hadn't really made eye contact in 20 years.
He's looking forward to spending time with family, traveling and working, not taking anything for granted. Yasmin Ranea, CBC News, Vancouver.
And that is Northbeat for tonight. For news anytime, go to cbc.ca/north. Thank you for watching. I'm Megan Roberts. Have a good night.